Well, there's the obvious fact that I can fly. I can be your bird's eye view of the landscape. Be an effective scout should you need it.
Indeed.
Now, secondly, I didn't always live with Welby. As it rests, I used to live with a bit of a reclusive mage. I don't know if he's still alive. Probably not. It's been about 15 years since I last saw him, and he was pretty old when I left him, but he had a lot of information. He winks at you. And he
Nalalia just sort of like nods her head, and then she looks back to the group, sees if they're still following her, the little ducklings if they are, and then she sort of gestures with her head up towards like whatever I guess would be like the main gate or the way out of Wayrest or whatever.
Well, right now you're down here in this area, and it's mostly just stalls right now, so you could easily just go like over this way to get out of town.
Yeah, so she sort of gestures towards like the outskirts of town, where on the outside of where all the stalls and everything is, and she's just like, lead the way.
Where are we going?
To look for another mate.
I don't know, I'm following the bird.
Did I hear what the bird was saying to her, or was he whispering all the time?
He was speaking loud enough that if you were paying attention, you could probably make it out, but amongst the hustle bustle, if you weren't paying attention, you probably missed it.
I think I would be paying attention to the talking bird.
That sounds like a perception roll.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not paying attention. No, I'm taking a 1 on that perception roll. I'm not paying.
I can roll perception.
Okay.
Let's see if I cleared it or not. I think I just lost that one.
Yes, you did.
By the way, also as a side note, this may be beneficial to Brian for sake of like characters and stuff. But if you'll notice, if I cast my spell again,
yeah,
in the Roll20, you see my Lalia's name, not my username. You can actually, underneath where the chat message is, you'll have a send as thing, and you can change that to your character's name.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've known that for a while.
Yeah.
That might be beneficial to everybody else.
Or if you click it using your character sheet, it will use it as your character name.
Character, yeah.
Okay.
That.
All right. Well. So I assume you're just sort of having the crow lead you out of town.
More or less, yeah.
How far are you wanting him to go?
Well, probably far enough that if he appears to like know where he's going and has a set direction, once we get that figured out, she might at some point like make camp. She's not going to follow him too deep into the night or something like that. She's just going to follow him. I mean, she doesn't know where the other mage is in relation to the town, so actually, yeah. After a moment, after a moment, she like calls up to Akira and she's like, "Say, how far away is this old mage friend of yours? Are we talking a trek for 3 days, or are we talking a trek for like 3 hours?"
Akira pauses her saying, "You see those mountains off in the distance?" And he gestures towards the Sleen Mountains way over here.
Yes.
His mansion, so to speak, was up in those mountains. So, and having flown over those mountains many times, as long as I can find a good landmark, and trust me, there were many to me, it shouldn't be a problem for me to locate and lead you to his mansion, where doubtless, if he's still alive, he'll be. Otherwise, all of his notes and books and whatnot will be there, and it'll allow me to pay my last respects, and he wouldn't want his information and research to go to waste, so who knows, maybe you can make something of it.
We've been walking for quite a long time. Does anybody want some bread I picked up on the market, at the marketplace?
Sure, why not? And
doesn't look like the rest of you guys were carrying much food.
It's fresh bread.
I don't know how Brian wants to handle rations in that specific sense.
I generally opt out myself of keeping track of the players' rations. If you guys want to keep track of that, you may, but I'm not going to remind you because I prefer to focus on the story, and unless the food becomes relevant to the story, I prefer to just not pay it that much attention.
Well, no, that was I wasn't. I was just going to say that whether or not you were keeping track or not.
Oh, okay.
It's this the sort of thing my character would do. So
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
My character
Nolly,
is not the sort to turn down free food, so I will accept bread.
which
Is it good?
is the character who's offering the bread the
Dragonborn.
Dragonborn?
Yeah.
In this particular instance, are Dragonborns thought to have a different sort of diet than other races are? Generally, mostly the same.
Well, it doesn't matter because I bought it from the marketplace. It's not some bread I was packing myself.
Right.
Like, it would be marketplace bread that I thought was a novelty food item. It's really a normal loaf of bread, but...
Nolly is too far ahead. She doesn't really care at the moment.
Okay. That's fine.
And I happily accept some of the bread.
All right.
Where do you think they're going?
I have no idea. I'm still not sure why we are all following them. Like
Well,
we are
because she had a plan to stop them from sacrificing dragons, of course. I still
Well,
don't
if
get the
you could
plan,
find-
but she has a plan.
If we
with the
figure
bird.
out how to find, if we find another way to keep the world going, yeah, that would be great. That would cost a lot, I guess. It will get us a lot of money. So I'm in.
Yeah.
I can hear you back there.
Nice.
It's no secret.
Yeah, well, you didn't know we were following you before?
I love the oblivious types. It's so funny.
Nalia sighs and she just... To answer your question of where we're going, again, and she like turns directly to you so that she's sure you're paying attention to her. We're going to an old friend of the birds, a mage friend who may or may not have knowledge that will facilitate us fixing the problem that the world has. If he doesn't, then he has some knowledge that may lead us closer to that goal in the long run. Either way, he has information. Information is required.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so to us rather than whispering to yourselves for the past 2 hours? By the way, do any of you two want bread?
That gets a like face palm from Alia, and she's
Just take the bread, be happy with it.
she like takes it and then well she like face palms, her head is still in her hand, and then she just takes it. And at this point, when she takes it away, it's probably fairly obvious, although it probably doesn't bother him so much considering he's Dragonborn. But Nalia has claws. You see that clear because when he grabs it. They're
well,
not claws
that's
that can
normal.
shoot. Yeah.
That's normal. Everyone has claws. Except for humans. They're weird.
Sometimes
Look
we
at
have
my
claws.
Well, no, a dwarf is behind so much metal that we can't see anything.
Yeah. So I guess at some point, once we're traveling, we might like sit down and make some sort of a camp or something like that.
Yeah, so...
Well, if it's approaching the evening, I would say so. Make camp, don't walk through the night. Not always a good idea.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
so...
like the night. It's so calm and peaceful.
And all those monsters come out to eat you. Yeah, great.
No one tries to eat me.
Akira lets out a snort.
Why would you eat me when you have so many other things to eat? Like bread. Bread is delicious.
I'm not the one to eat you, the monsters are. Oh.
Maybe all they need is some bread.
Nalalia just mutters to herself. She's like, "How did he survive getting all the way out here on his own?"
That is an amazingly good question. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That is a good question.
A whole lot of luck.
All right, so let's hear. What would the party's travel speed be roughly?
Well, I'm a dwarf. I only move at 25 feet.
Right.
I think we are gated by the Nalalia's travel speed because she's the one leading the way.
All right.
Which my my speed is 30 feet. So.
All right. So.
I'll try to keep up.
All right.
So
For the
sometimes
sake
the
of
dwarf has
this-
to jog.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, looking at the name screen, you guys are probably going to cover about 30 miles a day on the way up there, which means this is going to be quite a journey.
Yep.
Out of character, which direction? We're going to the Skullshore Mountains, or the? Out of character.
You're going to the Seen Mountains over here. Sleen. Yeah.
Oh, Sleen Mountains. Oh, this there. Okay.
All right.
Oh crap! There's a forest. Crap.
Bless you.
The first time I played a character that can breathe fire in a forest, I accidentally set it on fire.
All right. So, you go on for a while, and just for the sake of I might just actually disregard that scale later, but for now, let's just roll with it. So if you're traveling 24 miles, I really need to set the scale on the map file here.
Yeah.
But if you're starting in Wayrest, how far, where exactly will we end up, do you think?
There is, let's see, around 10 feet in 10 feet, using your arrow, that's about, what's one of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, a fourth of 350 miles.
All right.
Right?
Yep.
So, let's just say 75 miles-ish is 10 feet. 10 feet is 75 miles.
Okay. All right. All right. So in that case, if 10 feet is 75 miles, if you're going 30 miles, that means you're probably going to be going about 3 to 4 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
And 3 to 4 feet. So you're about there, yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
just to keep track, I'm going to go ahead and drop in a shape to keep track of party location. I'll make it not that thick. Yeah. There we go.
We get into town.
Alright. So there's party location. I'll make that as a wee bit bigger. Alright, there we go. Party location, right there-ish.
So we're sort of like on the outskirts of the. Well, we're about as far away from Wayrest as we are the forest, I guess.
Yeah, you're about halfway between. The landscape is sort of turned like wild wilderness. And it's mostly hills with patches of foliage, scattered patches of trees and shrubbery scattered all over the place. But it's mostly grassland and open hills right now.
All right.
So, night has come, and you're setting up camp, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
As I prepare to set up camp, I cast Druidcraft. I don't. Well, I don't have it all the way put into my spellbook yet.
Okay.
But Druidcraft allows you to create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts the weather for the next 24 hours at your location.
Ah. Okay. Well, I don't actually take Horn into consideration that much, so,
Seeing as which, I'm going to make a.
Alright, so weather is going to be super clear and sunny tomorrow. And throughout the night, it's going to be mostly clear skies. You're lucky on that.
All right.
front.
So I just set out my bedroll. I don't set up a tent or anything.
I'm going to
Yeah.
make a
That's-
stone. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
By the time that you got your like Druidcraft and all that stuff set up, and you predict the weather's going to be, dry and sunny and happy and all this, Nolly has already got her bedroll set out. Probably
And I-
decently far away from everybody else, considering that she's like the only female, and she plus would not care either. She's just like, eh. And she just sort of sits off, and everyone can see her sort of far off, like off to the far side, and she's like probably laying with her one of her books that she is reading before she like falls asleep or whatever.
I would prepare the campfire, I guess.
Well, I was going to, set up a stone circle and breathe fire into it.
Okay.
I guess I gather some wood,
Alright.
Yeah.
some branches, some small stuff that we
Alright.
can burn.
And is anyone taking watches? Or are you just
I
gonna...
would take watch.
Alright.
But before we go to sleep or anything, I guess I'm gonna eat one of my rations and try to share if somebody wants some.
Alright.
Oh, I want some.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I have fun casting thaumaturgy and changing the fire different colors.
Of course you do, because you're like a little kid in that respect.
I am a little kid.
Do I notice
Um,
who it is? Who's doing that?
Oh, the Dragonborn.
Yeah, no, I see the Dragonborn doing it, so I can say, okay, it was the Dragonborn changing the fire. Or at least the color of the
Yeah,
fire.
you probably noticed that. I doubt the Dragonborn was making a big secret of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
We used to tell stories with the flame. We would change the color of the flame. Some of the elders would cause the flame to move, make pictures.
Okay.
Guess I'm a tiny bit homesick, I guess.
Uh-huh. You like to tell us a story.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to tell a story. No, I'm going to tell a story, but I suck at storytelling.
Okay. So you're just like going to roll a perform check?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Roll it.
I'm not really good at, telling stories, but there was one about a dragon named John.
John.
John the dragon.
It's actually pretty good, apparently.
Yeah, Vashtan is
Yeah.
positively riveted by the story
Can
of
we
the
just say that
dragon
John is sort of a shortened version of his actual name because his actual name is long and complicated?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So the dragon's
Onyx.
shortened name is John. Gotcha.
Yes.
Which Nalia, like, she hears him start going, and then she just randomly spells off his full name because she's heard it.
Okay.
Which, by the way,
He like calls him John, and then she's just like spouts out of nowhere, whatever this John Drinnan, yes.
Yeah.
John Drinrith.
Yes. Exactly.
Alright.
Yeah. Nordic just nods.
Alright, so. As the night is progressing, Akira, he sort of settled off before saying, "Hey, does anyone mind if I look at that map?"
Nalia just like holds it up, and she's like, by all means, just don't like hurt it.
Oh, trust me, I'm not going to hurt it. I just want to examine things and see if I remember exactly where the mansion is located. That way we have a bit more of a clearly defined direction in going there.
I see. But I thought you had landmarks that you knew.
That is if I don't have a map. Granted, I'm a crow. I very rarely have a map. That's why I rely on the landmarks, but I have seen enough maps to know how to read one. And I know where the mansion is located if I have enough time to stare at one, so yay.
Well, it just goes back to reading her own book.
Alright.
Oops.
Alright, so, let's see here, okay. Alright, so, let's see here. This is where I'm going to be able to, go ahead and plop in a, map marker for where you guys are going.
Okay.
So give me just a second to go and plop that in. That is not how big it's going to be, fear not.
It's the size of a mountain.
Yeah, it's not actually that big. It's
Powerful mage.
Yeah.
Hopefully not one that someone decides to blow up with dynamite that don't exist. Wait, wrong game.
clever reference. I see what you did there. No one else did, though. Sad day
No,
for everyone.
they didn't. But it's not the first time that I've seen something been posting on YouTube where somebody made a reference to something that was from another game that only 2 of the players were in.
Okay, fair enough.
Huh.
Alright. See here, and... Ah! And, I'll just sort of put it right there and hope that that's legible. Is that legible? I hope it is. It better be.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's legible.
Alright. Now let me
Yeah.
just make sure that the camera can see it. Alright, so, yeah. Let me just zoom in a bit. Alright, so. So, just because I suppose I should have asked this ahead of time, what is the party's desired approach towards a long travel time like? Do we want to handle it like in like legs of the journey, or like I roll to see if anything happens on like one leg of the journey, then the next, etc., etc., etc.? Do we want to go by a day-by-day basis?
Day by day basis. Well, it depends on what your what's it called is, because it depends on what your style is, what the plot line demands. Whichever one's most comfortable for the plot line.
Generally speaking, I don't like peppering in too much in travel time, unless unless circumstances allow for it. So, so I'll probably let's see. How many days of travel is this trip going to take? Do you think?
4.5.
4.5 days. All right.
Maybe longer if we get delayed in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just go around, but not
6 actually.
6
And
days.
About a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
a week's travel. All right, in that case, we can cover. We can just sort of. I'll roll to see if anything happens on the trip to the mountains, and then we'll just sort of figure out what happens in the mountains once we get there. So,
Okay.
Sure, sounds good.
Can I roll insights on each of the characters to see what I learn about them over the trip?
sure. I guess I'll leave that up to the. Just for the
Rolls.
hell of it, I'll leave it to the players to tell you what you learn, but I'll give them some parameters, like tell them a little bit or tell them a lot, whatever.
Okay.
That way you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is Dalred's character. That would be Nellalia, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Strikes me.
Are,
Go ahead.
are you looking for anything specific? Like,
Well, I'm looking for just what you would learn about somebody in a week's worth of travel time. Like favorite colors, stuff like that.
Just minor details.
Nolali is, for all intents and purposes, her favorite color is purple because reasons. And she, at least for over the course of the journey, compared to everybody else, she sort of remained. She tried to stay on her own, and she was hoping that people gave her a wide berth, and if they didn't, then she just sort of tried to
Tolerate them.
tolerate them or shrug them off. At the same time, though, she does have a tendency to, like, almost appear, like, lonely. Like, there probably was a night or something like that when everyone laid down and she was reading a book before she went to sleep, and then everyone else is asleep, or she thinks everyone else is asleep, and Penamon?
Yeah, Pamorn.
Penmorn. And Penmorn was actually not asleep,
Mhm.
and he sees that she just sort of, like, she sits the book down, and then she's staring up at, like, the stars for a little bit. So she's sort of got this, like, she has a desire for more, but at the same
Mhm.
time, she's very reclusive.
Okay.
Kind of thing going on.
Do you want me to roll for each character or just the 14 for the party?
Let's just keep the 14 for the party.
All right.
Save time that way.
Okay.
So that means there would be a Thomas up next.
Yeah, so Tordek, he tries during the course of the journey to talk with everybody. He noticed that Nanalia isn't really responsive, doesn't really care that much about him, so he tries to chat up the other people in the party. He's pretty open, no big secret. He just wants to see how this adventure goes, see what comes up next. He's always the guy who wants to take the first shift during night watch. Doesn't mind staying up, keeping the party safe.
Mhm.
And he takes good care of his equipment.
Yeah.
Vashti?
Well, I think that you would notice that he doesn't speak often unless directly prompted to. But he is very open with his body language. Also, he carefully observes the druidic religious tenets to not touch iron, including for things like mealtime with cooking pots and all of that. Just very averse to touching it, but also clearly fascinated by it.
All right.
It's like, you are evil, but I'm going to stare at you intently.
I guess with
seems
14. I guess with the 14, people notice that Penmorn is naive, but fascinated about the world around him, slowly learning more each day, trying to get the party closer together because he's listened to stories about these parties and he's just feeling the slight tinge of like we're actually a group. Definitely a strong, like, adventurous spirit. And maybe if you were paying closely attention, he trusts everyone in the party because he's naive like that.
Yeah.
And slight crush on Nalalia if you were paying attention.
Yeah.
What
Totally
about
fine.
Alaric? What about Alaric? What do I know about Alaric?
Who?
The crow. His name's Alaric?
Akara.
Akara.
Kara.
It began with an A.
Yeah.
Akara.
Akara largely just sort of keeps himself. He'll occasionally talk when prompted to, but for the most part, he just sort of chills with the party and just, he doesn't usually talk unless spoken to, but when he does speak, it's pretty sarcastic and snarky, but he doesn't really tell you much about his, like, backstory or his past or anything. Like, he just kind of keeps that bit to himself.
Okay. All right.
All right, so
It should be noted that whenever the crow speaks, Vashtin goes silent and is very careful trying to interpret the words of this wise spirit.
because he's also naive like that. I love it. I just love it.
And Tordek loves the two because they are kind of naive. He likes that. He likes
like-
that part of you guys.
And it should be noted that Nalalia's, like, interpretation of Penmorn's like attraction, I guess, is some combination of I don't care and why. So it's very contradictory, but she's just like, yeah, she's just she's partially confused and partially like
Flattered.
interested in why this could be a thing.
Okay.
All right, so I
do
rolled.
Do I trust the crow though?
That is up to you, my friend.
Okay. All right.
Like I'm not going to direct what your character does unless he's possessed by something I control.
Okay.
Which at present he is not, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so I don't get any feeling of like trust or distrust from him.
Pretty much.
Okay.
You get a very strong sense of snide sarcasm, but that's about it.
I'm fine with sarcasm.
Alright, so I rolled an 8 on my Does Anything Happen die, which essentially means nothing of note happens during the entire leg of the trip. So you sort of... I don't know what route you take. I'll just go ahead and assume that you sort of go around the forest to avoid getting lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and
we
move
don't have a ranger in the party, so yeah.
So I'm going to move the party location to round about here.
So we had 7 days of journey.
Roughly. And now you are at the... basically, you're in the foothills of the Slean Mountains. And you know, you're... At this point, the weather is... Let me just roll for it, because I'm randomized like that. I like to randomize it. It's clear, but with the occasional patchy cloud.
Okay.
Reminds me of home.
Alright, so... So the mountains are pretty tall, pretty imposing. There's snow on their peaks. And Akira is looking at with sort of like this fond, closest thing a crow can get to a smile look on his face.
Can I see the mansion or anything?
Not
Yep.
from this altitude.
Okay.
If you'll notice, the mansion is way up in the slopes, and you're at the you're currently in the foothills. All right, so Akira sort of looks around from over, saying, let's see here. All right, tell you what. You folks start ascending the slopes. I'll go ahead and get a bird's eye view. As soon as I see a familiar landmark, I'll point it out to you by coming back down, letting you know, and I'll just sort of direct you towards the mansion as we go.
Okay. And I start going uphill.
Okay.
Starting
All right.
climbing.
All right.
Are there any plants along the mountain? Or does it turn to pretty much sheer stone?
For the moment, it looks like a combination of standard stone, rock, dirt, and there's the occasional mountain flower.
Alright, so, Boston's gonna be a little bit paranoid, because ravens and lore are tricksters. And he's going to pick one flower at the start of it, and along the path, he's going to use Druidcraft to cause the flower to bloom and seed, to leave behind a small trail of flowers
I like it.
that we hypothetically could follow back.
That's clever. I like it.
It's funny that I was the one that started it, but this is such a clever use of like spell cantrips that we got going on here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you ascend the slopes for a little bit.
Is it slippery type? Like snow, fairly slippery type?
It's not.
Snow?
You haven't hit the snowy part of the mountain yet. You're still climbing the rocky part, but so it's not really slippery yet. But you're just sort of you continue to ascend.
Okay.
Occasionally Akira comes down and points out what direction you should turn in next, or whether you should just hold your current course. And you're at this for a while. Let's see here. Finally, after several hours, it was morning when you started this ascent. It's now middle of the day, early afternoon. You've been at this for quite a while, and you've managed to reach sort of it's basically a tall, vertical, natural wall with the occasional, like, little thick crack in it, right? At which point Akira sort of flies down and perches atop the wall, looks down at you and says, "Alright, so this is the tricky part. In order to keep folks out, the mage I used to live with sort of liked to make, shall we say, barriers, and he wanted to keep it inconspicuous, so he made sure it was walls. So you folks are gonna have to climb over this to get to the mansion. That okay with all of you?"
Go for it.
There's no other way, I guess.
Alright.
How tall is the wall?
It's... Who's the tallest party member here?
Well, I'm not.
6'2"? 6'2"?
It's about
Yeah, I think
18
my
feet
cook's
tall.
6, so. Ooh, okay. It's a
Okay,
long way down.
I have pittons in my inventory. They are used to climbing, right?
Yeah.
I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They're the little
Uh,
hook things that you throw
yeah.
and hammer in.
So I guess I can use them to climb up. And I have rope, so I think I would say, guys, I'm gonna try first and then pull you up with my rope.
Alright.
So how many pittons do I use, and do I get a bonus when I roll?
I don't know how many pittons you'd use, so...
You just used one. You are Tordek, right?
Mm-hmm. The dwarf.
It's concentration, so the one on me, shades. Guidance requires concentration, so the one on my shades.
Alright.
Okay, so skills. Is it an athletics check or?
Is there a climbing skill? Otherwise I would sort of veto
No.
it to, be athletics.
It's athletics.
Yeah, it's athletic.
Or
Or
athletics or
acro-
survival.
Or acrobatics.
Or
It's acrobatics if you're trying to jump straight up the cliff, which is
Yeah.
actually what I'm seeing if I'm able to. So basically, your acrobatics for a high jump is 3 feet plus your strength modifier, I believe. But
Well, acrobatics uses dex.
acrobatics is off of Dex. You're right.
Yeah.
But the point is, the one spell I have actually written into my book is jump.
Alright, let's just... Whoever's doing the climbing, let's just roll with athletics then.
Sure then.
Athletics makes the most sense, yeah.
So I have an 18.
You're gonna...
That gets you to the top pretty well. You make a couple of slips here and there, but you're able to keep yourself from falling, so you make it
I'm
to
a
the-
mountain dwarf. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess the rope is hanging down and everybody can climb up that way. And I try to pull them up. Hold the rope.
Each person going up, I'm not going to type it each time. Each person going up has guidance on them.
Okay.
Guidance a cantrip?
Yep. 1d4. But it requires concentration. It is a very powerful cantrip.
All right.
So I
let's do
actually had
this.
more, right?
Well, if it's a concentration cantrip, though, you can't have 2 concentration spells going at the same time. Even if it's
Yeah,
the
but
same spell, 2
But
different
if you're on the
targets.
top, you don't need guidance anymore.
Cast it
True.
to the on the next
I'm
one.
casting it on the next person, releasing it on the person on top.
Yeah, so
This
it's
is why
basically
guidance-
climbing
Climb
one at a
the rope?
time.
Yeah. Well, we only have one rope, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for the purposes of climbing, Lolly is going to be, like, very, very not into the idea of climbing because she cannot. So she's probably going to go close to last if Panamore's casting, like, spells and crap to people happy or something. And I guess everyone else has rolled to climb up there.
Sure. Yep, looks like it.
I'm heavy, so I might fall.
If you don't want to climb, just get the rope on your waist and we will pull you up. Or at least
Oh,
I
that
will
works.
try. You don't seem that heavy. Do you?
Eh,
With all your
I'm
equipment, you
way
don't wear
too-
armor or anything.
I weigh
I don't
210
wear armor,
pounds.
but I have huge, massive horns that make me heavy. So
Yeah,
heavier.
I weigh
not
210.
heavier. What's that?
I weigh 210 pounds, so yeah, I'm heavy.
I didn't mean to pull you up.
So yeah, Nalalia is like, okay, Nalalia is going to take the rope and like tie it around her, so that you guys could, in theory, pull her up. But she's also going to try to climb anyway. She's not entirely to the idea of climbing, but she also wants to have a safety net just in case. Yeah. Boop. Oh, hey, I actually rolled decent. Huzzah!
40. Nice.
I'm going to roll a 2.
And with that, a 14, I'm willing to say that it's a bit difficult. You make a few pretty bad slips, but you don't fall, and you're able to make it to the top.
Okay.
Yeah. It's clear that this is not...
12.
12.
What's the 1d4 for?
Guidance.
Guidance.
So what does the guidance do again? I give you a bonus?
Add 1d4 to a skill check,
Ah.
which is why I've been casting it.
It's
Okay.
awesome.
Alright, so let's see here. 10, 11, 12. You have a harder time of it than Nalalia did, but you're able to get to the top eventually.
Yeah,
The
sorry,
rope
you
snaps halfway.
No, my rope!
Sorry, I told you I weigh too much.
Alright.
It's all the bread I've been eating.
I love it.
Anyway.
Alright. So, having reached the top of the wall, Akira sort of flies down from his orbiting rotation up in the air and lands not far off. Ah, good. You all made it in one piece.
Which, even if Nalalia is... Even if no one else is, Nalalia is sort of...
Short of breath.
Yeah, kinda. This is not her element. She stays with the book. She doesn't do this athletic crap.
Right?
And it's entirely true, too, because Nalalia's stats imply it. She has a -1 modifier on both strength and con.
Right.
Well, that's the only thing Tordek can do. Do something with his strength.
I have a +2 to wisdom, but a -1 to int.
Well, that implies how you're sort of naive like you are.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Beware Nalalia's 16 int and charisma. Which is weird. But anyway.
Are we ready to go on?
Yeah.
Which way?
The only problem is I've actually we've gotten a bit further than I was anticipating we would, and while I still have stuff planned, I don't have any maps for it, so we're just going to have to wing it.
That's fine.
That's fine. We have a bird.
problem.
We can wing it all we want.
Oh my god, that was horrible, and you should be ashamed of yourself and everything
kinda
you
liked
stand
it.
Still, the
for.
group support was there.
I've been hanging around Kelson too much. That's all I can say.
Say no more. I understand. No one else does. Huzzah.
Exactly.
Alright. Okay, so. Right, so Akira sort of gestures and says, "Follow me." And, he takes off, sort of, hopping along, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
I take my rope and I follow.
Alright,
2 ropes now.
2 ropes.
Is the druid craft still giving us flowers? We go along.
Yep, I'm still leaving flowers.
Okay. That was a haiku. You haiku'd me. I feel weird. Alright. Alright. That was highly not necessary on my part, but oh well. Okay, so, carrying on. So, Akira leads you on for a little while before you sort of come around a bend, and Akira comes to a stop, and the platform you're on sort of slants down, and you see it leading down into sort of like this miniature valley on the slopes of the mountain. And down below, in the center of this sort of valley, you see sort of this flattened out area with some overgrown farm area with almost like a tiny village around it, like super tiny, like more like a hamlet. But in the center of it all is the mansion.
And what's
Does it look abandoned?
like?
It looks
Yeah.
like it's abandoned, yes. Very much so. It's got moss growing on it, some vines here and there. There's a bunch of frost on it, because you are pretty high up now, not super duper high, but you're high enough that at night it'll probably snow if it's cloudy enough.
Doesn't look like anybody is living here anymore.
Akira
What do you guys think?
Akira sighs and says, I should have suspected as much. It's been almost 15 years since I was last here.
Wizards only live 15 years?
No, that's not what I meant. Look, I've been
Nalalia looks up to Akira and she's like, ignore him, carry on.
Yes. Well, I've actually been around for almost 30 years, 15 of which I spent with the mage in question, and the 15 of which afterwards I spent with Webley. Most regrettable 15 years of my life. Anyways, what's that for?
Determining if Vashtin is suspicious about this crow's lifespan.
You're a little confused as to how this crow's lasted so long, but beyond that, you don't really feel anything bad.
Alright, I keep following the crow.
Alright. So, Akira sort of nods, says, alright, well, we're here. Time to start and doing what we came here to do. And he sort of swoops down and says, I'll meet you by the front gate. It's on the opposite side of the valley from where we are now. I'll give you an input on what I find once you get there, alright?
I want to see before I go down into the valley if I can spot anything suspicious.
Roll perception.
Like a campfire or something, some tracks.
Roll perception.
Nalalia's doing the same thing.
I'm just going to
20.
follow the crow.
But
Okay.
it's not a natural 20. I think they add bonuses, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so it would be an 18 plus my 2.
And and Panmorn is just following along.
Nalalia
Right?
sees...
Yeah.
Right. So Nalia
And more
sees
is just following the crow.
Right? And whereas toward deck, he almost immediately notices that there's a very, very nice and also very big horse just sort of roaming around in the fields gnawing on grass.
Guys, do you see that horse? And
Hey,
then
what
point
now?
to the horse.
Now she does. Now she does.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a horse! They make
Yeah,
nice
but
food.
They make nice food.
I don't know, do Dragonborn eat horses?
Maybe?
Probably.
Maybe?
Probably.
Alright, we do eat it. We eat pigs. Dragon pigs and cows.
Nalalia sort of looks over the horse, at least from up here. You said it's a big, like, war horse, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it, like, does it look like it's sort of been disheveled, like it's been out and about roaming by itself for a while, or does it look like it's sort of...
It is very well kept. In fact, it has a saddle on its back.
Ah, okay. So Nalalia will see that and she'll be like, perhaps the mansion remains abandoned, but this valley clearly does not.
see, it looks like it. Huh. Well, I guess
Vashtin
we
will
just-
approach the horse with trying to specifically not spook it.
Alright, you do a fantastic job. The horse just doesn't even seem to care that you're approaching it. Obviously, it keeps an eye on you, but other than that, it doesn't really react. Just keeps munching on its grass.
I guess I slowly follow, still looking left and right,
Yeah.
see if anyone's approaching.
Nalalia
Now that
does
we
the
know
same thing.
somebody's here.
No one is approaching, it looks like, other than you approaching the horse.
Mm. do we see anything like footprints? And is there snow, or is it just rocky terrain?
Right now it's rocky, but there's some grass, like I said, overgrown farmland.
Uh,
And a little bit, and snow is visible from where you're at, pretty clearly. It's a little bit higher up on the slopes, but, at night snow probably reaches this far down. But right now there's not much, if any, snow in the valley.
Shouldn't we be following the crow?
The crow went on ahead because he has no need to fly down
Well-
here in the valley. We will meet back up with him, as he said, at the mansion proper. Though I still think we should remain wary down here. The valley is obviously not abandoned.
I look for some tracks. Do I see anything?
You see the hoof prints.
And no humanoid tracks.
Not here, at least, no.
Okay. Huh. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Do we continue?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we remain going forward, but we sort of maintain this cautious.
We know
Track.
someone might be here.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm gonna see if I can get the horse to follow me.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
With... Ooh. I don't know if I have food in my pack that would be suitable for animals. What's it grazing on? I don't have good berry.
Right now it's just sort of grazing on plant matter, grass, tall grass, stuff like that.
Well, I'm gonna continue my trend of abusing druidcraft and see if I can make flowers bloom and entice it away with flowers along the ground.
Okay. I guess roll to see if that works. I don't know what you would roll for that. Animal handling, I
I
guess?
don't know. Animal handling? Yeah,
Probably.
sure.
Ooh, pretty flower. Ooh, pretty flower. Ooh, pretty flower.
Right?
Yes, it works.
And you do an amazing job. The horse sort of looks up.
Holy crap!
Yeah. The horse sort of looks up, notices the flower sort of coming into bloom, lets out a whinny, and starts running after them.
Perfect.
Oh God, why did you open it without...
And background noise, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. All right.
Okay, let's move to the front of
Bench.
the gate.
Yeah. I guess
The
I will
front
leave
gate
the
of the
group and approach the gate.
All right. As you come around to the front side of the mansion where the gate is, you take note of there are a couple of lesser horses sort of standing around. These ones are actually sort of hitched up to, a tree. It looks like a small tree.
Out
Any
of,
horses?
out of characters, when we did we walk through the hamlet?
Yeah, the outermost part of it, yeah.
Okay,
It's pretty abandoned looking too.
all right, that's what I wanted to know.
Right, so now as for how many horses, 2.
2. So, with the one we brought with us, there were actually 3 horses.
Yeah, and these horses aren't as big or as majestic. They're somewhat more common brown horses, whereas the one you brought over here was big and white.
I see.
Here's where we're supposed to meet the crow, right? Or
Akara.
is it a
At
carrot?
the gate. At the gate, I think. Right? Are we actually at the gate yet?
You're right
thought-
outside it.
yeah.
And as Panmore brings it up, you actually hear Akara say, "Yes, I'm up here, dimwit."
Yeah.
Oh,
He's standing up on the wall next to the gate. The barrier wall that sort of surrounds the mansion itself.
not a dimwit.
Kara, is there another way to get up here with horses, or how did they get over the wall with the horses?
Akara
Ask.
looks at the horses and then is like, "Huh. Funny enough, I didn't actually notice those until just a couple minutes ago. I don't have a good answer for that."
Huh, okay, I see.
Nalia will look to the crow. She sort of looks up with this expression of trying to discern his like insight to see if he's like lying or something like that. She's not particularly good at it, but she'll try it. And she says, "Did your maid's friend from before, did he own a war horse such as this?" Ooh.
Nice.
Akira shakes his head. No, not as such. And you can tell he's not lying. He's being honest.
Okay.
Panmore knocks on the gate.
Your hand hurts. Not much. It's just like, oh, that's cold and hot. Well, not cold, hot. Cold and hard.
It's cold. I don't suppose anyone... Yeah. Usually knocking on doors makes people open them.
Yeah,
Not if
but
the castle
since
is
nobody lives here.
abandoned.
So, Akira sort of flies down next to you and says, "Oh, stand over, amateur."
Okay.
He sort of flutters up, grasps the bar. And this is the outer gate. The main door that leads into the mansion is beyond it. This is the outer gate to the wall that sort of surrounds the mansion. He sort of clasps onto the bars of the gate with his talons or claws or whatever the hell you want to call them, and sort of fiddles with the lock on the padlock for a second, and a little latch opens up on it, which is sort of circular in shape. Ow! And then he sticks his beak in, turns his head a bit, and you hear a click, and the gate sort of slides open.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Nalalia looks up and is like, a lock-picking crow. I believe I read about that once.
I can only do that with this gate. Don't get any ideas, I'm sorry.
Akira, did you see anybody else here? Or just us four?
Just you lot and the horses here. I haven't
Huh.
seen anyone else.
Okay. And I guess I will check inside if I can discern if he's telling me the truth or not.
Okay.
Because I'm a bit wary about the situation.
Alright.
And I trust him completely, I guess.
You're not sure if he's lying or not, but he seems to be leaning towards the honest side of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well then,
I am
let's go, I guess.
going to... Okay, so this is the, this was where the old mage lived, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What does the
I'd like
inside
let's
to
go.
untie the other two horses.
Alright, so, and who is saying what about inside?
So Akira opened up the doorway that get in, or did he just unlock it?
Akira unlocked the outer gate and opened it. There's still the main door to go through, though. Your passive perception tells you that it is actually standing slightly ajar.
Okay.
I tried...
So
Oh, go ahead.
so what does like the inside of the wall look like? Does it look pretty disheveled like everything else did?
Yes,
around?
everything looks really disheveled.
Is
Okay.
there a... Oh, okay. I'm going to make a survival check to see how smart Panmorn is going to go about this.
Okay.
11 is decently smart, I guess?
It's
Yeah,
common.
it's slightly
average.
above average, right?
It's
Yeah.
common, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to, like, find a rock to hold open the door in case it magically slams on us, but I'm not going to be barging in there going, "Hello, Mr. Wizard," either.
Alright.
He's going to
I
be
The door
tried...
made
cautious and moving forward.
Alright.
So Nalalia just she keeps a wary eye out just in case something might jump out at her or something, but she sort of carries on in front of the group and like gently taps at the door to try to push it open and look inside.
Alright.
I slowly follow, try to sneak up.
Alright.
But I'm not very sneaky.
So the door sort of swings open, lets out a loud creaking noise. Beyond, you see sort of a lounge area with what looks like a shattered table and a crashed chandelier.
Is the crash chandelier what shattered the table?
Yes.
Or are they independent of each other?
The crashed chandelier is on top of the shattered table.
Okay.
Did it
Does it
look
look like-
there was a fight
Yeah,
here?
I wanted to ask the same.
Roll perception. Or
Or
investigation,
would that
rather.
be investigation,
Yeah,
yeah.
investigation. I forget that that's a skill sometimes.
I
Talia-
don't see anything.
Talia knows all.
Alright. Alright, so... Who all got above a 15 here?
Actually, no, forget that I did investigation. I'm still untying the horses.
Okay.
Yeah. So just Nalalia,
Alright,
actually.
so Nalalia is pretty capable of telling that it looks like this is a result of a lack of proper maintenance.
Okay.
Rather
There
than-
looks like there's been a fight here.
Huh, I
Uh,
figured as much.
Nalalia
With my-
looks to two of them and is like, no, there wasn't a fight. Perhaps the chandelier, like the
Unscrewed itself.
Well, Nalalia looks over, and I guess you can roll with the same investigation. Does to go with what you said? Does the cords or whatever the rope that was like holding the chandelier up? Does it look like they were cut, or does it look like they just sort of eroded, or
It
like?
was a chain. Most chandeliers are being held up by chains.
Yeah, this is a chain. And,
It was like rusted, probably.
yeah, it just sort of rusted away.